Why, hello there. Another Sunday, another live stream, I guess. And look at this amazing trombone that I made. I'm exceptionally proud. It even does have all the valves and all. How about making something useful for once? Well, I've been doing that. Just need to change levels for a bit. But I really wanted to show off this trombone. So, last time we started setting up the first puzzle of Lichen, in which we first pick up our tablet computer, which acts as our everything menu. Then we pick up two items to combine and interact with our pet slime mold Gautier here, in order for him to release this key that is currently floating above him. And how that looks is as follows. We can do nothing before we are picking up the tablet computer, which we are doing here. Louise says, I'm sorry, I know you're meaning well, because it's gonna be the alarm clock later on and be really annoying. Once we have it, we can do stuff. Put things in our backpack, like this spray bottle and this cereal. And I've been messing around with the hotbar for a whole bunch, because how it works, it's pretty much just saving a reference to the slot from which something is dropped onto it, and it updates whenever the slot of the referred item is changing. But as it turned out, when you had items in there like so, and you combined them in here, this whole thing got messed up. So I fixed that, and now by combining the spray bottle with the cereal, now we do have soggy cereal, which we can combine with Gautier, who will be well supplied. And then we can take this key here. We can take this key to our hand and open the wardrobe, which is, I didn't show that, was basically difficulty number 2. First thing is, I cannot grab the key before the puzzle is solved. What's left to do regarding that is the animation, of course. The grab animation is still playing. And here, of course, we need to implement a way of Louise telling us that the door is locked, instead of just having the string printed out here. And you might be asking, why is this key floating way above the terrarium in which Gautier resides? Because obviously when I put the key way down into the terrarium, I cannot look at it, because the collision of the terrarium is in the way. So first point of order of today is setting up Gautier's terrarium in a way that we can interact with the key while it's in there. Alright. And here we have Gautier. So what I want to do here is basically just keep the terrarium and Gautier separate. I think that's actually just the separate terrarium mesh. And the only difference is Goodyear. Perfect. And what we'll be doing here is make another collection. We are putting the terrarium in here. And we are putting Goodyear in here. Okay. So what I intend to do is make the export twofold with Goodyear and the terrarium extra, but we need to have a point within the terrarium where we can put Goodyear into. And I have never done that so far with a static mesh, but there is the possibility to have where is the terrarium? Here it is. Yeah, so there is the possibility to put sockets on static meshes, and I need to find a reference or have a reference vertex or something along the lines where I can put the socket. So I mean, I can just add a cube. Like a very, very small cube here at the cursor position. Now there is a little cube in this terrarium. And Goodyear himself, I'm duplicating him real quick. Put his duplicate back in here, just so we have the original position. And what we are doing now is cursor to world origin and selection to, okay, and selection to cursor. Why didn't this work? That's why. Okay. So theoretically, we can now export those two things. And then attach them to each other and have the terrarium not respond to the interaction trace. So I'm really interested in whether this is gonna re-import normally. So I don't want to combine. Let's see what happens, or if Unreal is going to crash. Doesn't look too good, I'd say. Wow. I'm kinda impressed it did something. But I do want the terrarium as well. So looks like I'm gonna have to set that up again. Yeah, that's the content you are here for, right? Okay, does not work. Which is not terrible, but we'll have to set him up correctly again, which we'll have done rather quickly. Gautier. Let's say this is Gautier uncombined. And something nanite. Not gonna build nanite. Yes. All right. Right, so the thing with that is, if I do that, I still won't be able to grab the key. Okay. Looks like Gautier does need some extra collision help. No, that's the one. And we want to have very cheap glass on here. Perfect. Not perfect. Okay. Looks like this one does not have correct UVs, so we shall give the Lord UVs. Aye. Okay, and trying again. Well, I am kinda confused why this is not working. Because yeah, this does have messy UVs. But I had been of the opinion that this one, well, it obviously, not you, does have messy UVs. Okay. Looks like I do just have to make two separate imports here. So right here. Okay, so this doesn't have the reference cube for Goodyear. So let's just add that real quick here. Okay, then we combine. And now it's looking correct. Perfect. This was very cheap glass. Okay. That's wrong then. Okay, next try. And now it's correct. But Gautier himself should be correct. Okay, so here's the reference cube. And this is where we're gonna put our slime mold. Now can I get I cannot get yeah, well then I'll have to do it by hand, I guess. But we should be able to get close enough. It's probably easier to be okay. Do have locations here in Blender. Let's see if that helps. It does seem to. You are not seeing what I'm doing here. I'm sorry. Let me just change this around real quick. So we need to match this little cube here up with the end location. Okay, these are the coordinates taken from Blender. Now we can add collision to the terrarium here. And now let me see how this should be working out. So this is my actual interaction item, which means I can probably not attach this to the socket directly. Doing a quick Google session here. Okay, looks like, let's try that out real quick. Gonna put the terrarium here. I think you're probably hearing like the sand in the gears of my brain trying to think today. It's not working. So. Gautier. Now I want to okay. This looks like it's not working. Why is it not working? That's why it's not working. Perfect, it is working. Okay, now let's see if this also works with a interactable. So blueprints. hotspots. Gautier. I'm having high hopes here. To Gautier socket. Yeah, that's looking good. So Gautier does not have collision as of now. So I want you to ignore collision responses, and you, Gautier, will be getting collision. Yeah, I think collisions like those will actually not be of any major help here. So let's just try it out with this as Gautier's collision, and let's find out if we can see him. Yes, perfect, it's working. And we can also see the wardrobe key. Wonderful, wonderful. Today we learned how to attach something to a static mesh socket. This is such an amazing channel for learning, isn't it? Okay. Let's just hide the key in here a little better. See if we can still get it with the interaction trace. No. Very difficult, so. Maybe more like this. Yeah, I think that's actually good enough. Alright, but I still think maybe... Do we have... No, he does not have nanite. I'm not super in favor of the highlight effect switching around the shadow like this. By the pulsating, it looks kinda very strange. I don't know how to get rid of that, so whatever. That's just a very minor thing right now. Okay, great. The next thing we want to do is put some clothing into the drawer, which I can use for the unlocking of the door. So the story goes, waking up, picking up tablet, not wanting to go out because we're naked. We cannot open the wardrobe because of Gautier, so we feed Gautier. He does leave the key alone. And once he does, we can open the wardrobe, get dressed, and get out. So that's the very first puzzle. And for that, we of course need clothing. I think I do have some stacks of clothes. Let's see. Something modern. I think somewhere in here are stacks of clothing. Yeah, I mean that's close enough, I'd say. Let's just put another, or rather let's make the new data asset for the hoodie. Let me just see, picked up clothing is the remote key for picking this up. Then again, I'm being a tad stupid here, because this is actually not a regular pickup, but more in line with the tablet. I think what I need to do here, and what is easier to set up, is to just make a copy. And I think I'm gonna make a parent class starting tomorrow for, say, pickups that are not supposed to go into the inventory, but pure trigger pickups. let's say this is BP hoodie initial. And the static mesh is, of course, this hoodie. And just have to have the collision set up properly. Okay, I don't need that. That's just the usual. And since this is not related to functionality, we need to call the world oh man, I'm really not well spoken today. I don't know if anybody noticed, you probably did, but yeah. So, bind global event, we want to call the global event. Global event, call unlock remote, that's what we want to do. All right. Let's just see if this does open the door. I'd say no, it does not. Is this due to the wardrobe? No, I think, yeah. Because I'm still being stupid. This is beloved hoodie. And it does need not level initializer, but visibility. Okay. Yeah, perfect. It's working. All right. Yeah, so this is the first puzzle working. Amazing. So let's close off the door, try it out one more time. This time I'm not gonna combine both items in the inventory, but we're gonna interact with Gautier. Now here's moisturized. Okay, and looks like there's another bug with the quick bar. Great. Now Gautier is well supplied. I can take the key. Open the door. Get my beloved hoodie. And here we go. And looks like what? I see. I think I switched around the door frames to make the doors work, and they all got flipped by like 90 degrees. And yeah, a thing that I noticed with my trombone and with those beer bottles before, oh my god, is that when nanite is enabled, it isn't shown correctly. Yes, apply please. Yeah, now it does look correct. I was wondering why the beer bottles were looking so strange, and it's actually because of nanite. Wonderful. So this is pretty much what I wanted to achieve in this live stream. And now it's back to some research. Well, this was quick. Well, the only other thing I need to actually announce is that Maple, who was going to voice Louise, has retreated from the project due to time constraints, which is fair enough. So as of now, I am looking for a new voice actress to voice Louise. I'm gonna see how fast this will actually be possible. I sure hope it won't take too long. But alas, we'll see. And looks like there is indeed a bug where the quick bar gets flushed whenever we use an item. Okay, so I know what kind of bug fixing I'll be doing tomorrow. That's that for today, I guess. Well, go therefore and work.